Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy FRE, dollar sign H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And we are here again. No offense, but B1 has killed the economic hopes of black people all throughout the United States of America. Now, I brought this poster up because I just wanted you guys to know, because a lot of people was asking me what the posters I had in the back of the in the back of all my lives are, and that's this poster right here that my grandfather gave me, a poster of a lot of black well-known people, just to kind of show what's possible. And then I have the poster of my grandfather who passed away right here. But let's get into it, man. No offense, but as you guys seen the title of this, I'm going to break across some things. Like, so these are just my feelings, my opinions. We're going to converse with other people. I see some people came in the room already before I got here. Phenom, what's going on? He said it was destroyed before B1. We'll get into that also. All right, for definitional purposes, let me explain what I mean by B1 when I talk about when I had I did Dr. Boyce Watkins and Dr. Umar Johnson on the thumbnail. B1 is a short abbreviation for Black First. Black First means you simply do things or spend money on or invest in or work with or date people simply because of the color of their skin being black first. And for me, as a black male who has grown up in North New Jersey and has reached the level of income I'm at now and has came from all of that without a father, mother in and out of the a mental institution, and great grandparents, great aunts, and loving mother who was always there mentally for me. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, man. The reason why I feel as though it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life is because I am a firm believer, and I'm not saying it's stupid for anybody else. It might work for some people, but for me, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. That I would judge someone based on the fact that they look like me more than the fact that they have the same principles, morals, or goals as me. Or maybe I'm thinking, okay, maybe these black leaders are saying B1 black first because they don't understand that all black people aren't of the same ilk, aren't of the same mentality. It behooves me because these are the people who have the most followers, who have the most people who watch them, who have the most the higher platform. And this is the news that is spreading around to generations to come, and people are picking up from it. And this is detrimental to black people simply because if we judge someone just because they're black and we vibe on them, then it's going to make us as a whole look completely bad. Let me give you an example real quick. So, all right, so let's say someone is they're going to say the name. Let's say someone is a big activist, a big thing, and everybody puts their, he's black, and everybody or she's black, and everybody puts their soul behind them. And then you find out in the future, I mean, that in their past, they had criminal activities, they messed with little kids, they stole from their own people just to get to where they're at. And now we've all backed this person simply because of the fact that they're black. It destroys the credibility of that person. And once you destroy that credibility of the person that we put up to the top amount without doing the research, without doing that just because they're black, then you destroy the credibility of that cause, that power. And it's so crazy that these intellectual black leaders of today, leaders, quote unquote leaders, would actually say things like this. And I'm going to play some clips that I saw on Breakfast Club, and some clips that I think Boyce Watkins said. But let me shout out everybody else that came in the room. Thug, what's going on, man? Tevin King, what's going on? Defamation, what's going on? Defecation, my fault. Demification, my fault. What's going on? Black first, not black only. But yeah, but here I'm gonna break that down too. Let me get back to Bree Mac. I'm gonna get back to you. B1 sounds like a great idea to isolate yourself and do less of business. It does. We're gonna get to the economical part too. MG Toe. Black first, not black. Listen, here's the thing though. I'm not going to. I want to shout everybody out first. We're gonna get to everything first. Reasons why we say black first is because we tend to put other groups' interests over us. The problem is, see, I gotta read everybody. Let me shout everybody out first, and then we'll go back and we'll read through it because I'm gonna respond to all of these comments. Shout out to Wesley Snipes. Shout out to Unification. Shout out to JT Comedy. Shout out to King James in the building. What's going on, man? King James will be down here next weekend. Captain Saberho, what's going on? We need some red pill content, my G. Yeah. Soon come. Just gotta get some things together. All right, so now I'm gonna break down and just give my response. No disrespect. I mean, no offense, but I gotta speak my mind because this is getting out of control now. In my mind, it's getting out of control. And I won't talk bad about the people in particular, because we're all black. And what I won't do is what a lot of other black people who have some kind of platform do, is attack other black people rather than attack the message that they're saying. They personally go after them. And I feel as though in a world where we're fighting against, as black United States citizens, we're fighting against a lot. You know, our culture starts in slavery. So we're fighting against a lot to succeed. And the fact that these educated black people are going at each other in the public eye rather than pulling their brother to the side, or at least sticking to the topic versus digging into them personally, it shows that maybe they're not really for the black people at all. And that's one thing I'm gonna show to you guys, that all black people ain't for black people. Now let's get to y'all comments. All right, so we about to go say peace. What's going on? What's going on, Tevin King? All right, demification. What the hell is be first? Be first is basically saying put the black goal and black people first, and whatever you do. Not only black people, of course, I'll get to that part, but black first, which to me doesn't make sense, simply because what I'm going to put first is the people who go and think like I think, the people who have the same moral values, the people who have the same ethnic groups, and the same ideas, same principles, or at least similar principles. But let me go to Bree Mac. Bree Mac said black first, not black only. Okay, now here's the difference between that. Black only means dealing with black. I understand that. Just only deal with black. That's different. But black first means that you would literally put somebody who is not beneficial to you. Let's say you're running a business, right? And this guy, and John is selling you apples for $3, but Bill, who's black, is selling you apples for $6. Putting black first would mean you pay $6 for them apples rather than $3. What that's going to do is that's going to economically damage you, because now you're paying a higher price for apples just because the guy is black. Now, putting black first, and this is just a small example. Putting black first is basically saying you're willing to not go for the best deal because you want to deal with a person that's black only, and that destroys the community. Let's get real here, everybody. Let's get real here. Black United, and I know this is shaking a lot because it's on the bed, but black United States citizens, we are not the majority. I don't know what anybody think. We are not the majority. We are the minority of the minority now. So if you want to get bigger, you have to work with the people around you. If you just work with the minority of the minority, which is blacks, you will never get anywhere up in the higher atmosphere of things. That's why when I see black people complaining about other ethnicities coming from out of the country, even though they do have a more clear mental picture because they didn't go through slavery the way we did, but when I can see other black people complaining about other ethnicities rising up and going above us economically, I'm like, why are you guys complaining? Because you guys want to stick to black first. That's not going to get us to the top. You see, here's the thing. When Asians come over here, when Jewish people came over here, when Latino people came over here to the United States to build, you think they said, you know what? Let's only deal with Latinos. Let's only deal with Jewish people. Let's only deal with Asian people. You think that's the thing they said they were going to do? No. What they did was they took their strongest of their brand, the strongest of their ethnicity, of their nationality, of the culture, and they put them together and built on that. The lowest of their brand, they didn't go down and say, hey, we're going to help our lowest come up. No, they said we're going to put the top highest people of our communities together and we're going to raise it to the top. When a person says B1, exactly, MG Doe, when a person says B1, what they're doing is they're isolating themselves and doing worse and less business because they're no longer doing what's best for their business. They're doing what's best for their color. But that's not even what's best for their color. Because see, listen, if black people did the same thing what other cultures did, as far as instead of, and here's what I'm going to say, all black people aren't on the same path with black people. If black people didn't try to pick everybody up from the bottom rather than try to build at the top, we would be further in my opinion, we would be further than where we are now. You see, what I mean by that is like, because see, black men struggle and black women struggle were similar, coming up through slavery, coming up through Jim Crow, coming up through all that. Understandably, we should be able to relate because it was the struggle was similar. But it doesn't mean that we have the same path as black women, and black women have the same path as black men because we had the same outcomes. Everybody changes based on how you react to an outcome. Does that mean that we should down our black sisters? No. Does that mean we should go and, down, that they should come and down us black brothers? No. But if someone connects with what you stand for outside of your race, I don't understand why that, like, it behooves me to think that, like I'll play something when Dr. Umar said real quick, and this fair use for all that coming here. I'm gonna share the screen. Hope you hit the like button. Let's just have a good conversation here. I'm gonna get to your comments. I just want to start off with my thing first. So let's share the screen real quick. All right. Share window. I'm gonna start off with something what Dr. Umar said on the Breakfast Club, and the reason why I'm gonna start off with this is because we're gonna go into the interracial dating when I spoke that aspect right there. Ready?
Let me ask you a question. Fair use. Are you totally against interracial relationships?
I am totally against it, and I want to make sure you understand why.
It doesn't even, in my opinion, it doesn't even matter why. To be against dating out of another race just because you're black is no worse than what white people in the past did, saying you shouldn't date white people at the time. Be like, it behooves me to see that you can see the mistakes that other races made. You can see the error in other races' ways, but then you want to follow the same error. It doesn't make sense to me. And logically it doesn't make sense. And it's sad that our leaders today are all like on the same path. It's so crazy. It is so crazy. I just wanted to play that one part. Let's get back to the screen. Let me get to y'all comments. Once again, like I said, Wesley Snipes, black first, it's still bad business, man. If you're a business person, if you know business, putting somebody's ethnicity or somebody's color before the actual business dealings is bad for business. And it's bad for your race because your ethnicity or your race, whatever you consider, and nationality as a whole would do better if everybody was just doing better for their business and then we came together to build versus trying to only do business with your community and not being able to build at the rate you would if you do business with everybody. It doesn't make sense. As a business owner, people know that. B1 is not about judging people. I don't think you get it, bro. I listened to what he said. He said, I listened to what Dr. Boyce Watkins said. He said, black first just means putting our races and our agendas before everybody. Understood. But it just doesn't make sense because economically, if we are isolating ourselves as blacks, we are not going to move at the rate of, and it's crazy because if you look at this right here, right now, currently, based on the Washington Post, the black-white economic divide is as wide as it was in 1968. So you're telling me between 1968 and 2021, nothing has changed. But somehow you want me to believe that the leaders that had these strategies of black only or black first or let's only focus for the black, that this worked, but nothing has changed economically since 1968 and now? No, it has to be another way. And I'm showing another way. Maybe the way doesn't work for everybody, but it worked for me. Like I'm out of the poverty that started because I had assistance from other people along the way that wasn't in my race. Like, you think I was going to be able to get a house in a predominantly white area of West Orange if I just had me? No. What I did was I had a white realtor, and a realtor helped me get there. The people who I bought the house from never seen me, just so that there was no redlining that could be involved. The white realtor talked to the people the whole time. They never had a chance to see that I was black, sign the papers, and that was that. But see, if you are a B first and B only, you're gonna try to only find a way. And then if it doesn't work that way, and you complain about redlining, you complain about all that stuff rather than finding a way to make it work, then you're just gonna be falling behind. And it's been proven by even just the Washington Post right here saying nothing economically has changed since 1968 as far as the wealth cap. All right, this is a little bit something. Let's keep going. Reason we say black first is because we tend to put other groups' interests over ours. The problem is they don't do it for us. They shit on us, black people. So black people adopt black first. Here's the problem with that. That would work as far as black people putting black first if we were the people who were in the majority. If we had the highest economy. If this plan doesn't work, it doesn't work to work with only black people or put black first if we're at the bottom of the ring pole. No. That doesn't work. Economically, it doesn't work. Logically, it doesn't work. And financially, it doesn't work to only work with people of a bottom hit. You have to network with people that's on a different rank than you if you want to bring your rank up. It doesn't work if you just, yes, some people that come from the bottom, now let's call us black people crabs, but just for easy explanation purposes, if two crabs at the bottom are trying to work, yes, they could probably work together and get themselves up from the top. But if you got somebody at the top that might not be a crab, it might be a fish that's at the top that may just throw a rope so we can climb up, why would I cut off that rope just because it's a fish and not a crab? It just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't work either. Like, financially, it doesn't work. And if I haven't proved it through my life, then it's definitely proven from just the facts. 1968, nothing changed. So no matter what the leaders say, no matter how much the leaders talk about, let's do this, nothing they have done has economically changed from 1968. Nothing has economically changed the place that we are in America or the United States of America from 1968. So obviously they're doing something wrong, because insanity is repeating the same program over and over again and expecting a different outcome. I'm not insane. I'm not crazy, but a lot of leaders are. These groups boost themselves first. No, bro. You think let's go to white people. Let's go white people. White people, Caucasian, whatever you want to call them. White people don't bring white rich people are not going, we got to bring the white people that's in the trailer park up before we bring anybody else up. No, they're not saying that. White people at the top are saying, how can we get wealthier? Okay, if we get the people to argue down here, that we get the blacks and the poor whites to argue and go back and forth about Republican, Democratic, all this other stuff, then we can just keep getting richer. We don't care if the white people at the bottom are at the bottom. We don't care if the black people are at the bottom. We just want to get more wealthy. So they don't boost themselves up either. Asian people don't go, bro. If you ever did any research in Asia, Asia and India have the biggest class systems that they don't even talk to people under a certain amount of money. They marry within classes, which means the rich get with the rich, the poor get with the poor, and no one ever moves up. It's not a boosting everybody up thing anywhere in any other country. But the leaders of the Black United States are telling us that we should do that. But no other country or no other people from other countries that come here are doing that. So we should probably take heed to say, hey, if no other countries are doing that, maybe we should change this way, because nothing has changed since 1968. Well, I don't know how to explain it better, man. I hope I did. How is B1 destroying the black community? Most of the community doesn't even embrace that. B1 is destroying the black community because the leaders at the top are telling us that we have to be black first. We have to be black first. And by being black first, economically, it's stopping the people who could have worked with other ethnicities, other races from moving up. Like if I'm at the top and I'm a millionaire and I'm telling you to put black first, but I didn't come up that way. I went into it. Just speaking and not speaking on personal business, but just using references. If I'm a leader at the top, I toured at Syracuse, but I'm telling you black first. Syracuse is run by a white institution. It's run by wealthy white people. It was owned by wealthy white people, and I went to go work for them. But I'm telling you to do it a different way. I'm telling you to do black first. But now I'm wealthy, but you're black. But you doing black first your way, it's not going to put you where I'm at. It's not going to make you a millionaire like I'm a millionaire. I went through this whole path working with other ethnicities and other stuff, and now I'm at the point where I say, okay, let's only work with black people. But you didn't go through that path, and that's why it doesn't do that, man. Let me see. Wow, I'm so far down. I know. I went to a little talk. I'm just so far now. Let's see. Let's see. What's going on, Ivy? Bon, what's up? 38 people in the building. Appreciate y'all. Howard, what up, man? Yo, shout out to Howard Cooper, man. I met this guy in Columbia. It was definitely a cool dude. But he's definitely a cool dude, man. Met him in Columbia. He was vibing, man. He got a good workout channel. You might want to check him out if you want to get in shape, lose some of this quarantine weight. B1 advocates the same thing as other ethnic groups have done. Chinese, Black, Russians, Latinos support their own communities, but Black people can't. Here's the difference, though. I've never heard a person say put Latin people first. I've never heard a person say put white people first, put Chinese people first. All the people I've seen will deal with anybody that's business savvy first. I've always, I don't know about, maybe your experience is different, but with my experience, the Chinese people I've met along my way coming up, or the Asian people, or the Japanese people, or the Russian people, or the Latinos, yes, they support their own community, but they do business with whoever gives them the best deal. They do business with whoever has the same mentality as them. Yes, a lot of them in the community have the same mentality, but here's the thing. They're not telling people the leaders of their communities are not telling people in their community to deal with people in their community that have a different mentality than them. And that's the difference between us and them. Like, you're not going to see the leader of the Latin American community say, hey, you know what? Even though Lulu is out here pushing weight and disrespecting our women and doing that, we should just put him before any other Black person that's thinking the same way we doing with running their own business and doing good stuff for the community. No, they're not doing that. But that is what our leaders are telling us to do. And it hasn't worked. It's been proven not to work. Like, it's one thing if it's just me and you guys talking, no offense, but it's one thing if it's me and you guys talking. It's a whole different thing if there's actual numbers that follow it. It's a whole nother thing if there's actual numbers. It definitely is, man. It's too many with no education and extreme IQ issues. It's done too many with no education, extreme IQ issues. Here's the thing I have about education. They make you believe that the people who are to be listened to the most are the people who graduated from these colleges, went through these schools, and they're with the quote unquote top of their rank. But these people didn't come. It's a difference if a person comes from 0 and makes it to 100 than if a person goes from 80 and makes it to 110. I respect the person more that comes from a 0 to 100 than the person who went from 80 to 110. Even though 110 is higher than 100, this journey is more important in my book. It doesn't make it a fact, but it's more important. And people who have these college degrees and all that stuff, they're said to be the leaders, but they're not in the community. If you're not in the community, like we're in the community, you can't really know how the community moves as a whole, and that ruins everything you're saying. I intentionally look for Black people who work with, but at the end of the day, work has to be done. Okay, I can understand that. I can respect that. At the same token, for me, like, I do real estate, right? I do real estate also. That's one of my streams of income, and I have contractors. I did not go out and look for Black contractors. That's not me, because I know Black contractors are probably going to run me a little bit more money. I did not go out and look for Black plumbers, a Black what's name. Now I do have a Black plumber. I did have a Black plumber before he passed away, I think. But I did have a Black plumber, but it wasn't because he's a Black plumber. It's because he had the lowest price, and economically, following that Black first trend, it's not gonna make you get you up there, man. Asians don't do that, man. Okay, man. All right, my apologies. Maybe you know different Asians than I know, but the Asians I know from the Philippines, from China, from what else? From Japan, from Thailand. None of them put their culture first. They find a way to make it first, and then they bring what they want to bring in. They don't do that. So I don't know. They work with everybody first. They work with whoever has the best deal. All the Chinese people I know, they'll work with Indian people if Indian people have the best deal at the store. If the Chinese people, if the Indian people too, if they work with if they work with the Chinese have the best deal. It's just that way. But they want us to work with black people first. It just doesn't make sense. Be first doesn't mean be dumb. No, but that's what leaders are teaching people, man. They're teaching people to be dumb. Because to me, being dumb is choosing something that economically is not the best idea for you, simply because the person you're purchasing from is of your skin color. It is the leaders that say, don't go buy at Walmart. Go buy at Ray Ray's Electronics. Now you're gonna pay $30 more at Ray Ray's Electronics than Walmart. You can invest that $30 difference. You can build your society up bigger, but the leaders of today are gonna tell you, go shop at Ray Ray's Electronics. No, that's not how it works. If you're trying to build, like I said, if you're trying to build a black community, the black elites have to match with the black elites. What's going on, Isaiah? All right, good night, bedtime. Good night, bedtime. I love you, bedtime. We can see you in the morning. All right, good night. I'm working. Good night, bedtime. You got school in the morning. I'm just saying, y'all. It's the leaders are leading, and like I said, if the numbers didn't prove it, I would be completely wrong. I would admit to me, but the numbers prove it. The leaders are leading the future people down a path that's not going to be beneficial for them. The communities like Black Wall Street and Black First, the communities like Black Wall Street were Black First. Oh my goodness, I can't read this. Communities like Black Wall Street were Black First, and that's why they were so successful. I can't speak because I wasn't there. I don't know about that. But I do know this. Black Wall Street in Tulsa wasn't the first black community that burnt down. Once again, we have to bring it back. Black people in the United States have to understand we are the minority of a minority. If we get too high in the United States, at any point, they can take us out. It don't matter what you think. They can take, if we're working by ourselves and we get too high by ourselves at any point, they can take us out like this. If we work with other people, if we work with other ethnicities, we work with other nationalities, and we build high, they can't take everybody out. See, that's if I know there's a hill of ants over here, and over here there's some ants and spiders. If I want to just destroy the anthill, I can destroy the anthill with no point, no purpose. But if I want to destroy this ant and spider hill, it's gonna take more. If I put all black people together in one spot and I want to do something to bring them down, like they did in Tulsa, like they did in Black Wall Street, like they did in North Carolina, like they did in other places that I heard from, like Dr. Claude Anderson. Like, it's easy. But when you intertwine with other ethnicities, you intertwine with other nationalities, you can build a bridge that can't be broken. And that's what black people have to understand. And that's the best thing since we over 30 minutes now. Now that's the best thing I feel as though in my opinion is the best thing to do. You see, we have the power as black people to interact with other nationalities without them feeling like we're trying to be dominant of their nationality or ethnicity, that we're trying to take over their stuff. You see, it's been proven over time that European and possibly white people are more likely to take over. I mean, based on what we've seen happen in the United States, they're more likely to take over than to work with, to conquer, than other things. But black people, black United States citizens, we don't have that same mentality. See, our culture started in slavery. So we wasn't given that same mentality of wanting to come to your country and conquer you, wanting to come to your civilization and change everything. That's why hip hop is so culturally integrated all over the world, because our culture integrates with other cultures smoothly. It doesn't dominate other cultures. And that's the benefit that we as black United States citizens have to take to, I feel as though we have to take to our use and move on. We can build a Black Wall Street in Colombia. We could build a Black Wall Street in the Dominican Republic. We could build a Black Wall Street in even Europe, in other, maybe not Europe, but in other places. We can build a Black Wall Street where it can't be destroyed. We're gonna build another Black Wall Street in the United States. It's going to get destroyed again. But the leaders of today don't want to put that up there. Either they don't want to put it up there. Sorry, y'all. What up? Either the leaders of today don't want to put that up there, or they don't know that's a thing. They just so oblivious of focusing on what they want to do that they don't understand that no matter how many times, if it comes to a point where we build another Black Wall Street, it will get torn down. And the only way to change that is to integrate, which we can do. Like I said, hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. There are people who don't speak English that have hip hop in their souls from Russia, from Asia, because Black culture, Black United States culture integrates well. And we have to use that to our advantage rather than saying put Black first or deal with Black people first. No, let's integrate and build our culture as a whole. I feel like I was preaching for a minute, but yeah. Black first when all other factors even. But all other factors never be even, Matt. It will never be even. We are the minority of the minority. The minority of the minority does not make decisions. If the majority did not say slavery was wrong, we would still be slaves. Therefore, the minority of the minority does not make a difference, especially economically. They'll take a pay cut with businesses to make sure a Black person doesn't get a foothold of a billionaire hair chair industry. I don't see that, man. I don't know. Mystical says, do you really not understand that we're behind enemy lines? Okay, a conquered people, the only ones that didn't come here for a better life. That's the thing. I don't think that the leaders of today understand, because if they understood that, they would be trying to integrate more than to segregate themselves and isolate themselves and build themselves up from that way. Because if leader, you know what? Maybe leaders just don't. Maybe the leaders the Black leaders of today just don't understand how the game is played. Maybe they really they think that all us black people in the United States, the small amount of Black people in the United States, we could come together and make a big difference when we're the minority of the minority. That's not. If we just look outside of our emotions, that's not going to ever work. And what game of chess does the queen humble herself to a pawn? And what game does it doesn't make sense, man. Let's see. At this point, like-minded brothers need to link up and do our own thing. Time is wasted. Sleep has a good point, and I see. I'm going to shout out Black Men Travels, because I kind of see Black Men Travels doing that. I appreciate, I don't always, agree with everything they do, but it's a large amount of stuff they do that I agree with. I see with the Black Men's Travel people are doing. Like I said, once they start taking it out of the country and they start focusing more on the aspect of finance and building, and not just moving out of the country, but showing people how to gain income from the country to take out of the country, like passive income and stuff, I think Black Men Travels will be bigger. But like I said, yes, at this point we need to link up and do that. But you can't link up with all brothers, because all brothers ain't on the same message, ain't on the same vibe, and you got to learn how to leave people behind. I mean, yes, I'm black. I'm black in the black. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. I grew up in the crack epidemic in the 90s and the 80s. Like, I grew up in all that stuff. So I'm not this wealthy Black person. I'm not this middle class Black person who's telling you how things go from that place up. Now, I mean, no offense to like any Boyce Watkins or anybody like that. I didn't have a mother and father, even if it wasn't my real father. I didn't have a mother and my father always there who had money and stuff. So it's different. It's a different feel. But yeah, man. Yeah. But Wanda, what's going on? B1 is Black people staying on code. Every other group plays team ball except for Blacks. Prior to the 1960s, it was Black first and had a community prove it. Here's the thing, though, Buana. The miseducation is so far. If I miseducated Black people, poor people, and Black people for 300 years, I miseducated them. Is it going to be hard to believe why they aren't going to come together? No. So what do you have to do? You have to cut off the ones that just don't get it, and putting B first will never do that. If you really preach Black first, then you will never be able to cut off the ones that just don't get it, that just don't economically understand that we cannot do this by ourselves, and it's gonna suck as a black person because people gonna hate me for it. But black people, we're a minority of a minority. Unless we integrate, we will just keep going further and further down the economic scale. I'm talking about black United States citizens. I can't speak for African. I can't speak for black Europeans. I can't speak for Jamaicans because the black United States culture is different. But if black United States, we are so small of a fraction of people, if we don't integrate and understand how to build through integration versus build through segregation, our culture will be gone, and we will have wasted this opportunity of a lifetime that hip hop gave us. We will have wasted this opportunity of a lifetime if we don't learn if we don't get our leaders to preach more integration and building through integration than building through separation and segregation. We will lose big time. And look, you can quote me right now. All the leaders gonna say, "Oh, this guy just gave up. This guy just don't know." Just bring it back 10 years from now. Come back to this live right here, and remember what I said. Those that learn how to build through integration will be up here. Those that decided to do black first and separate and try to build through separation, we'll see where they're at in 10 years. Give it 10 years. When they come over here, they will hire and work with others. It's easier for them to hire people, but because the other people work for less. Here's example. If I'm from Mexico, I come over here. I started taco stand. If I want to hire somebody that's black, I want to hire somebody that's white. I want to hire somebody that's of another ethnicity. I got to pay the minimum wage. If I want to hire one of my fellow Mexicans, I can pay them half of the money because I know that they know that money will go further in Mexico. So it's not just a racial thing. It's an economic thing first. They're going to go with what's the best economical decision first. Other minorities work most exclusive, and it's the same thing I just said. Look, a thug. The same thing in Asia. Everybody says, how come there's never no Asians and no blacks in a Chinese restaurant? How come there's never no whites that work in a Chinese restaurant? How come Chinese people come over here and only hire Chinese people? It's an economical thing. Once again, if I'm a Chinese person and I open a Chinese store over here, if I hire a black person, I got to pay the minimum wage. If I hire a white person, I got to pay the minimum wage. If I hire another Chinese person that lives here, I understand that they're over here probably illegal and probably need to work for as little as possible. So I'm going to hire another Chinese person, not because that person is Chinese, but because I know I can pay him or her less to do the exact same work I would have to pay more for a black, white, or another person in the United States to do. It's an economical thing, but everyone keeps saying, oh, it's just the Chinese only hire Chinese, Latinos only hire Latinos. No, it's an economical thing. So it's been proven. All of them eat off of black people. The world eat off of Africa, brethren. Stop this. You're not understanding. Understand this. Me, I separate. Now, I love my African people. My daughter's mother's African. I have close ties with African people. But I do not consider Africans in the United States the same culture and black United States citizens the same culture. It's not. It's simply not. When we came on that boat and all our stuff got blocked off and we created our own culture, we're the only culture that started off as slaves. And then built ourselves up to being segregated and misused and miseducation. And little by little, miseducated. Then little by little, black United States citizens were coming up. We're coming up little by little. It's a little, but we're still coming up. So I separate myself from Africa. I separate myself from as a black United States from Jamaica or Haiti or one of the Caribbean islands because we had a whole different culture, man. We had a whole different culture. So it's just different, man. So I guess all the black people were doing something wrong according to your logic. According to my logic, the Black Wall Street communities were doing something great, but the leaders did not understand that as easy as you build something together. What happened? Yes. All right, come over here. Come over here. All right. Lay down right here. Lay down right there. No, don't say that. Just lay down. I'm gonna go in your room. You lay down by the AC. Oh, we gotta move, y'all. Lay down by the AC, okay? I'm gonna close the room. Hold on, y'all. I'm going my son's room. Change the scenery, y'all. Change the scenery. All right. All right. Well, I'm back to it, y'all. All right. So listen, I'm just saying that if the black leaders were intelligent or understood war, if they understood, oh, I gotta turn that fan off because that fan is loud. Hold up. Hold up. If the black leaders of Wall Street understood how chess is played, understood how war is played, they wouldn't have built a community inside of the United States. They wouldn't have, because they would know it's easy to be destroyed. And it's not the first. Black Wall Street, Tulsa wasn't the first one. It was not the first one. There was so many other ones. But you gotta look. If you want to look more information about that, go to Dr. Claude Anderson. I don't know which one is a non-issue. A lot of black first are con jobs and a lot of the black first are con jobs and not strategical group economics. And Dr. Umar isn't a vanguard. I'm just pointing out stuff. Like I said, no offense, but I'm just pointing out stuff because if people hear both sides, I'm not saying I'm completely right. I'm not saying they're completely wrong. I'm just saying people need to hear both sides of the story. People need to hear different aspects of the stuff, because the one narrative that's been going around for generations and decades has not proven to work, but the leaders that keep saying it, it has to change, man. It definitely has to change. Hold up, I missed somebody. There you go. Most groups marry their own. I said, as far as marriage, here's the thing. I don't know. For me, integration is I feel as though it's the biggest way to move up in a world where we're in a minority. If we wasn't if black United States citizens weren't the minority of the minority, then yes, maybe we could do that. But no, it's not going to work. I'll put a blank out and say it's not going to work. And if we follow the same path, then a lot of us, I'm not going to be there. My family's not going to be at the bottom of the ring, because we're going to learn how to integrate and build forward. We're going to keep learning how to integrate at bigger things and move forward. Perfect example. When I bought my condo in Miami, right? When I bought my condo in Miami, right? You think I went straight to Overtown or went straight to Little Haiti and said, "Yo, I'm about to link up with all the black people in Miami because I want to be completely just involved in black first"? No, I didn't do that. I said, "Yo, I'm gonna link up with whoever has the same mentality as me and wants to grow, whoever I can build from, whoever I can learn and connect with, and we can network with." So yes, I met a lot of Cubans. I met a lot of Spanish people. I met a lot of good Haitians. Like, I met a lot of different people that's not just black. So for me, it works better that way. But like I said, everyone is different. If you want to follow the strategy that has been proven to not work since 1968 and that left us in the same generational wealth gap as we was back in 1968, that's up to you guys. I mean, but I'm just trying to show another way. I'm not saying that way is wrong. I'm just trying to show another way. That's my whole point in life. Like, I don't want to ever say somebody is wrong. I'm just saying I want to show another way. Dude, you're all over the place. Now you're talking about interracial dating. It's all into one thing. If you looked at the title, I had Dr. Umar Johnson and I had Claude Anderson. I had Boyce Watkins. Black first is the same. Saying black first is the same thing as you're only dating black people. So you see how I connected those? Because saying black first is you're only dealing with black people. Interracial dating is the same thing as only dating black people. So I don't understand how you see that. You don't see that as a connection. So how you see that as all over the place. Ex Fat Boy says, "I refuse to call him doctor. That scam feeds off of people with fragile emotions." Another good talking slickster. I don't want to go personally at nobody. I give people the respect they ask. And if they prove to be unrespectable, then they just prove to be that way. But personally, I don't know his situation. I'm just talking about his concept. I don't want to be one of those black channels that, demean or talk about someone personally versus talking about what they're preaching. I want to keep the focus on that, because I feel as though when you got a personal, as a black United States citizen, with all the stuff that we go through, when you got something personal to go at somebody with, go behind scenes, pull them to the side. Talk to them. If you can't reach them that way, reach out to somebody. And if that all fails, just don't say nothing. because we be dealing with too much as black people to go at each other personally. However, if you got something to say about what they stand for or what they're preaching, then you can go out and publicly and say that. So I won't call it a scam, but if you build something, you have to have an army to protect it or it will be destroyed. That's a fact. See, this is military stuff. See, military people know that. Military people know how a war is won, and regardless of what you think it is, a war is what it's going to be. Xavier, you call me? Either way, a war is going to be a war, man. You can call it not a war, but it's a war. It's a war, and we're at the bottom of the rank. We're at the bottom of the bottom. We're not even at the bottom because we were a minority. We were a minority, and we was like up in the minorities. But now we're like the lowest. We're the lowest amount of minority economically, probably the lowest in numbers. And it just in the United States, you got to understand how it is. The black dollars last 6 hours, then it's gone to another community. Every other group takes days before it rotates. But see, Bawana, that's not about spending within the black community. That's about learning how to spend efficiently, which is the reason why our education system is built to keep poor people poor. Because without economical power, you really have no say. That's why Asian people, that's why no matter all that was going on last year with all the black killings by cops, killings in when Chicago people were killing each other, people in the hood killing each other, none of that was blown up to anything. One incident happened with Asian people, with the person with in the Nelson line. One incident happened, and it was a big campaign about stop Asian hate. You know why? Because Asians have economical power. So it doesn't matter if they're spending money in their own communities. It's the understanding of how money works. That's what gives you the economical power, not where you spend your money. Asians can spend their money with blacks, but the amount of money they're going to spend is not going to take away from the economical power. Black people, we've been taught to spend recklessly. We've been taught that the people that we need to worship are the people like the industry, the hip hop people who go out and spend $30 million on the chain but don't own a bunch of real estate, who go out and spend money on the nicest Lamborghini or something like that, but don't have like a bunch of businesses. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why the black dollar lasts 6 hours, because the people who they give us to idolize, and if you're not wise enough to see past that, you're not going to. But the people who they give us, black kids, teens, young adults, to idolize are the people who are spending money recklessly and not doing anything that's going to benefit themselves. So that's why it's like that, not because they spend their money in their own community. Man, Jews work together very strong. Check out Diamond District in New York. They work together. Yes, they work together. They do, because they have the same. They're like-minded. It's not because they're Jewish. It's because they are like-minded. I have a friend who's Jewish. I have a real close friend who's Jewish. Their kids learn from a young age about the power of money. They have their own schools. They learn from a young age the power of money and how to spend it. Most of us in college don't even learn how to economically budget nothing. So when you say they relate, they stay with people that's the same Jewish side, is because they have the same mind state, not because they're the same skin color. And that's the difference. That's what us black people need to do. We need to stay with people who have the same mind state, not the same skin color. So and that's the issue, man. In my mind, there's a reason for those immigrants get easy loans. Easy loans show black neighborhoods spend money and black neighborhoods. Funny how you're not calling them. I'm not calling them out. You know why I'm not calling them out? Because it's time for us black people to stop making excuses. We got to stop listening to these leaders who haven't been doing anything for us economically, and since we haven't changed since 1968. I'm showing you a way. I'm showing you a way to get out of the situation you're in. I've shown you a way through my receipts. Receipts. You see, that's a big problem. That might be my next topic on a future channel. Receipts. You guys, a lot of people are going to different YouTube channels and will listen to everything they say, but never think to say, damn, where the receipts at? Where did you come from? Show me how you made it. Where's the process of you going up? Like, for example, when I go to the last thing I've done on my YouTube channel, my Miami property. People who follow me for at least a year have seen when I did not have $1 for that Miami property. They've seen how I then built my money, how I saved my money, how I showed them how things were changing when the CARES Act hit, and how I took advantage of that to invest in stuff like that. But see, that's receipts that I show people. It's There's nobody on in these leaders that people are saying that's showing receipts. You can't go to their page and see them traveling the world. You can't go to their page and see them helping our communities. You can't go to their page and see them doing all this stuff. So the reason why I'm not talking about that is because it's time for us to stop complaining, man. It is what it is. And the sooner that black people accept that, the better strategies they will make in the future. The better strategies they will make in the future. Now, black first ain't the best strategy, in my opinion. In my opinion, it ain't the best strategy. Ain't the strategy I used to get to where I'm at. Doesn't mean it won't work for other people, but it hasn't worked for the majority of us based on what the numbers say. So that's why I'm not calling other communities out, because I don't need to call other communities out when we need to focus on us. If you could date a black woman, if I could only date a black woman, if I only could date a black woman, I would die a virgin. That's crazy. I like you guys see my last video. I met this amazing black woman in the United States from Ohio. Met this amazing black woman. Respected. She did a thing. We connected and on a mental basis. But she knew that right now where I'm at is I'm going to the millions, man. I'm trying to lead a path. I'm leading breadcrumbs with my YouTube channel. I'm leaving breadcrumbs with my life to show people how to get out of here to get here without the way that other people who get to the top and then just start preaching from the mountain posts is telling you. So, like, I love my black women. I love my black women. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to connect with all of them on a love basis as far as relationship-wise, but I love my black women in the United States. We've been through the same struggle. Now, even if that struggle made you a monster and made me a saint, I still love my black women, and I will never disrespect them. But that doesn't mean I can only have to date black women, and that's where people go sour. They're like, oh damn, if you love black women and you don't want to disrespect them that much, why do you date outside your race? Well, because I understand that love has different colors. I understand that I want to explore my options. I like having different options. I like options. Options give you freedom. Jewish people did, Italian people did, Chinese people did, Hispanic did, but not us. I forgot what part you're talking about. Other blacks are doing the same as you. Wait, other blacks are doing the same as you, as well as Asians and Indians. Yes, that's why I connect. That's why I'm able to connect with other blacks that have the same mind state, and that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody. All black people ain't for the benefit of black people. The benefit of black people is not going to be black first. It's not going to be. It hasn't. People think that B1 came from when, I guess, Boyce Watkins said it. No. We've been black first since the Black Panthers. We've been black first since the Black Panthers. So since even before the Black Panthers, and it was black first. So we have to understand that strategy does not work at the rate that we wanted it to work, at least, because we're still in the same rut we was since 1968. What we need to do is learn how to integrate, because right now we have the opportunity, once again, through hip hop, touching all cultures. There has probably never been a black person in certain countries out in China, in certain countries out in Asia, in certain countries out in Russia. There's probably never been a black person to step foot in that country, but hip hop is in that culture because we integrated music and they made it that way. We can do the same thing with finance. We can do the same thing with having wives and having kids. We can do the same thing, but we have our leaders at the top, or the leaders, not our leaders, but the leaders at the top, still preaching this black first segregation, build together BS that hasn't worked. And it's just crazy. It's time somebody speaks about it, man. Western Time says, don't worry about people complaining. Make moves and others will follow. That's on them. Yes, exactly. But we need somebody to show. We need some people, and it got to be more than just me. We need people to show another way that could work. I'm not even saying that my way is 100% going to work. But we've seen that the way that the leaders are teaching since the Black Panthers days, we've seen that this way does not work for us as a whole. It doesn't. So we need some options, and I'm giving you guys some options. If you're B1, then you will look for a black realtor. That's all. And other groups do it also. I've never seen a black real estate agent represent a Jewish or Asian person here in California. Well, maybe it's because the black realtors don't have the connections with the people who are selling the house behind the scenes as an Asian or Jewish person might have a connection. So here's the thing. If I'm a black person and I really want this property, but I know that the black guy does not have the connections for this owner the way that this Jewish person or this Asian person might, I'm going to go with the Jewish or Asian person, because ultimately it's not dealing with the black person that I want to do. Ultimately, it's me getting this house that I want to do. And that's what we're forgetting. We're forgetting the business is first. And if we want to build, because our ethnicity, our culture is a business. We have to look at it as a business. Black culture is a black business. How are we going to operate this business? Are we going to operate this business based on emotions? Or are we going to operate this business based on logic? It's logical that if I know this Asian person can get me closer to this home in California, then let me go with the Asian person rather than the Jewish person or the black person. If I know the Jewish person can get me there before the black person, then let me do that too. It's just that way, man. I mean, you can deny it. You can say, "Oh, that's messed up," but it's life. What you want to do? You want to get the deal? You want to get the house? What Denzel Washington say? You want to go to work or you want to go home? You want to go home? I mean, like, it's what it is. You never get you never getting most black people on the same page because they love free entitlement handouts. I wouldn't say that. From the government, they will slide with government voted on Biden to keep. I wouldn't say that. I would say that it's hard to get black people on the same. It's going to be almost impossible. I ain't gonna say nothing's impossible, but it's going to be almost impossible to get a lot of black people on the same page simply because we've been miseducated for 300 years. Simply put, you've been miseducated and de-educated, behaviorally educated, to believe that if you hurt black people, there's nothing wrong with it. But if you hurt another culture, it's something. We've been behaviorally educated so many years that you're not. Some people are just dead in the water. You're not going to get them to change. The focus we need to be doing is focusing on the people who are in the same mind state and building those people to build up. It's like this. When the teacher votes on the curve, right? When you have a lot of kids that are at the bottom that they go by, they take the lowest grade off and they go by all other grades. You know what I'm saying? It's not a median. It's not you put this people with this people is the average. No, it's you go with a curve at the top. So we have to do the same thing with black people. We have to boost our black excellence as high as we can. And then the ones that fall by the waistline, we kind of got to let them fall by the waistline and just keep boosting our black excellence until the black excellence spreads out, man, in my opinion. And that's how other cultures do it also. Nobody is voting for, that's just him saying it. Everything you're telling black people not to do, other groups have done doing it, and it had economically and collectively, but black people shouldn't do it. No Black Wall Street for us. Because we're not the minority, bro. Here's the thing you don't understand, man. I don't understand how you're not understanding this. We are the bottom. Just black people, it will get taken down. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It will get taken down. Now, you can argue whether or not it's right or wrong. I'm not here. I don't believe in right. I don't believe in wrong. I believe in perspective. And I know for a fact that the next Black Wall Street that builds up will get knocked down. Whether it's by white people, whether it's by the government, whether it's by something, the next Black Wall Street that builds up in the United States will get knocked down, just like all of the ones before. Now, if you're gonna keep trying to do the exact same thing and expect a different outcome, then you're insane. I'm not insane. I'm gonna find another way. I found another way. Let me see. I knew you was immigrant. Don't speak on our issues. Keep traveling and doing your thing. I don't know. I'm black and black. Mother is grandmother Native American, born here. Her mother Native American, born here. Father black, grandfather black. I don't know how to answer that one. There's nothing wrong with trying to make sure as many of your people eat. See, here's the issue with that. There is something wrong with that. Because the more people you let eat that's not working for their own, that's not up there trying to grind, that's not trying to get there, the more people you're feeding that's not working towards success and have the same motives, the less you're going to be able to achieve. So I've learned, see, a lot of people, I don't know his story. I don't know your background phenomenon. I don't want to assume, but I'm going to tell you a story about growing up in the urban area they call a hood, ghetto, whatever. When you feed people that's not working on their own, that's not grinding, that's not willing to give up whatever they have to do to make it to the top, you're wasting your time, man. You're gonna be down there with them for the rest of your life. When you work hard and you build up and you move around people that's building up too, well then you're gonna move up the ladder. Now I'm not here to tell people to stay at the bottom. I'm here to tell people to grind your hardest, but keep morality, keep principles, keep things. Like, yes, for me personally, I didn't want to sell drugs. You know why I didn't want to sell drugs? Because I felt as though as a drug dealer, I could probably be a billionaire by now. I could be a multi-millionaire by now. But I don't want to benefit off of the misery of my own people. However, if I'm making struggling, I've been working since 14 years old. I got a job. I've been at the same company for 18 years. I bought houses. I invested in real estate. I invested in stocks. I invested in crypto. That doesn't mean I'm going to go turn around and give my money to people who are at the bottom of the rank. No, that doesn't make any sense. But the people who are working with me, the people who want to build, we gonna build. But if you want to help other people at the bottom, that's cool. But I learned a different way. Facts. Everyone isn't meant to be a boss. Everyone doesn't want to lead and learn. Exactly, man. It's exactly, Shannon. Exactly, man. And like I said, this conversation is just between us, because I don't think there's a lot of. I mean, I don't know if it's a lot of white people. I don't know if it's a lot of Latino people. I don't know if it's a lot of Asian people. I don't know who is watching. Who's the 43 people in the room right now? I don't know. And I'm not one of these big channels that go and just pander to what you want to hear. Like that's the one thing. And I'm not going to say knock anybody. If that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm not going to pander to what you want to hear. You want to hear the gossip, about people's personal lives. I'm not going to do that. You want to hear me say stuff that you might agree with. Yes, let's go black first, and let's forget all these whiteys. Let's do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm a realist, man. I'm a realist before anything, and that's what I'm going to do. We don't have black leaders. Who is leading the black people? What I consider a black leader, and I'm not saying my leader, but I'm just saying a black leader is someone who has a platform that reaches out to at least 10,000 or more people. Because 10,000 people is a lot of people. I mean, as far as if you're going live, I don't want to say his name, but let's for all intents and purposes, I don't want to get too personal. Let's just say Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels right now would be a leader. Why? Because he has people, leading his stuff. Let's say off of the YouTube. Let's say Dr. Umar, he would be a leader. Charlemagne, he would be a leader. Boyce Watkins, he would be a leader. We're talking about people that even though you don't agree with their message, there's a large group of black people who follow their message. And it could be because maybe they haven't heard from other messages, or it could be because maybe they just like that person. But I'm not saying they're good leaders. I'm just saying that they will be leaders. Do put in y'all on serious game. Y'all better take notes. Lammy, what's going on, man? If you don't have an army to protect what you build, destroy. Yeah, we definitely. I mean, that's a fact, man. That is a fact. And wow, there's a lot of people talking on here. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to the end of this, y'all. End of y'all comments, because it's so much stuff here. I missed a whole bunch. They don't say they do it, dog. Exactly. They do it. Wow, they do it, but money stays in the community. No, they don't. They really don't, man. Because here's the thing. Like I said, I'm very close to a Jewish person. I'm very close to a Jewish person, and when they tell me how they spend money, they don't spend money in their community. Like, they buy off of Amazon just like us. They just don't buy as much. They buy out these stores just like us. They just don't buy as much. And yeah, definitely, man. But with schooling, they don't pay. They don't do the public schools. They do the private schools. And the private schools, yes, that is run by them. But our black schools, they won't be as strong. Because we're at the bottom of the bottom. They don't need to put Chinese first because they're on code. Okay. They are doing it subconsciously. Those other groups automatically work with one another. No one needs to say anything. Dog, amen, brother. Preach, bro. This blog ain't it. Hey, listen. I try to tell you guys, man. I'm not going to be like one of these other, and I don't want to say no names, but I'm not going to be one of these other YouTube people who pander to what people want to hear. I'm going to speak my mind, and that's what makes my channel the Flyboy Way. That's just my way of life. Everybody's not going to agree with it, bro. You keep babbling with the white supremacist talk points. Other groups practice economics. They're thriving fast than black people. Just say you're scared of being black first. No, I'm more intelligent to know to invest or do something based on my color. I'm more intelligent I'm more wiser to know that it would be foolish to basically do business based on somebody being the same color as me. I just know that's not the smartest thing for me. Maybe for other people it is, but for me it's not. Let's see. Black First is about economic concept that doesn't work. Doesn't mean I'm supporting the people as a whole. Fact. See, I do see, and that's a point. Good point, Lemmy. I am probably one of the most channels you'll see on here that shows Black people support. All of my videos have somebody in it that have a business that they're promoting on my platform. My platform has almost 30,000 people on it. And there's so many Black people that I run into that promote their business. I spend money, my own money, at their businesses. If you just seen the slut truck that was in my last video, Slutty Icy. I forgot her name. Shout out to her. I supported that business. I didn't have nothing from that. I spent $50 on it like it wasn't nothing because I support Black businesses. But it doesn't mean I'm going to put them first. You know what I mean? Like if I really wanted, you know what I mean? No, not at all. Phenom, that's exactly what he's not grasping. I don't. It's a different world. I'm supposed to with you, but this is not it. Listen, Kenny. I mean, everybody has different opinions, but but the issue with my opinion on this topic is that my opinion coincides with the facts that the wealth gap between Blacks and whites and other cultures is the same as it was in 1968. So if it's the same as it was in 1968, obviously the leaders of today who have been doing the Black First thing, it hasn't been working for us economically. We're just talking about economically, it hasn't been working. Do you think Black people are more united today than they were in 1968? I don't think so. I wasn't born in 1968, but based on the videos and the documentaries, I would say they was more united in 1968. So whatever the Black leaders are doing today isn't working, and that was the basis of the thing. Hey brother, how are you? What's going on, East Smokes? We over an hour, so I'm trying to get to everything. Every country practices group economics. My boy, have you been to Little Havana and Little Haiti? Yes, I've been to both. I've been to both Little Havana and Little Haiti. Little Haiti probably got some of the. Little Haiti has the best food I've ever tasted at Clive Cafe. So yes, I've been to Little Haiti and Little Havana. Oh, shout out to and Ocho Cuba Ocho is my spot in Little Havana. That's my spot now. And shout out to Little B King, Little B Little. Oh my God! Shout out to Little King runs Haiti. I forgot his Instagram @line, but shout out to him, man. He a cool dude, Haitian brother from Little Haiti. Lil B runs Haiti. All right, bro. I own reals too, and still practice B first. Okay, all right. Watch this, high haters. You own real estate too, right? You own real estate too, and you practice B first. If there's a white person that's going to give you $1,800 for rent, but there's a Black person that's going to give you $1,400 for rent, are you going to take the Black person first over the white person? Talk to me. I'll wait. Bryce Boyce Watkins has always said he will do business with anyone as long as it's partnership. He's not subjugating himself to anyone else. But no. Well, I haven't heard him say that in beginning of every single. And I watch his stuff because he does have good content. That's what I'm saying. I separate the personal person from the business teachings. And all of his business teachings are not bad. And I'm just pointing at this one business teaching that is not logical and doesn't work for the Black community. So don't get me wrong. I watch him very thoroughly. In each one of his videos, he starts off with Black first, B1. I deal with Black people first. Our Black motive is first. This is his first. Everything. So regardless if he will do business, whether he will do business with anyone, it doesn't matter if he's putting Black people first. And it's not because they have the best business dealings. If the Black person has the same business dealings as a white person, as a Jewish person, yes, I will go for the Black person because everything being equal. But if the Black person is simply Black, but the Jewish person or the white person or the Chinese person has the best business deal, I'm going to go with the one with the best business deal. But Bryce doesn't teach that. Boyce doesn't teach that. Per your Apple example, if we don't support the Black-owned sales store, apples are $6, there will never be a table to up to Walmart, potentially never be up to lower the prices. Then maybe we need to build another table. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to stop focusing on trying to follow trends and build another trend which we can dominate. Like if you can't sell apples for $4, and the market is $4, you got to sell them for $6. I'm not going to pay you more, because if I'm selling apples, if you're selling me apples wholesale for $6 each, this guy's selling me for $4 each, this guy's selling me for $3 each. If I buy you for $6, I'm going to take the hit for my business. That's the whole point I'm trying to say, Red Cup. I'm taking this, and it doesn't work, because then we both lose, because then I can't compete with my other business. And that's what they don't teach you. The leaders don't teach you. Because if I'm buying wholesale from 6, and then the white guy next to me is buying wholesale for 4, how am I going to compete with his price? So now me buying from you is hurting my business. That's not best business practices for black people, and that's not going to make us all get up, man. I'm still waiting for that answer. I hope you're still here, Hi Hater. I'm waiting for that answer, man. If a black person comes to you and say, I got $1,400 for rent, and a white person comes to you and say, I got $2,000 for rent, you're gonna go for the white person or the black person? I'm still waiting for that answer, man. Let's see. Immigrants left their country for a reason. That's a fact. See, there's no opportunity. See, I told you guys how I feel about the immigration thing. I told you how I feel about it. I said simply this: immigrants go further than black people, because black people in the United States are miseducated and have been miseducated for many years. So whereas though they don't have opportunity in their countries, they have knowledge. But versus us, where we have all the opportunity, but we don't have the knowledge. How through all of I don't know what that was. There are some blacks that somehow throughout all the miseducation were able to find a way to educate themselves enough to find opportunity. And that's the blacks we need to focus on. Those that have found a way outside of it to educate themselves to find out over and see. Because we keep focusing on the blacks that don't know the opportunity is here, we will fail as a culture, as a people, as a society, and as black United States citizens. We have to focus on the people who have seen the opportunity we have here, and not the ones who can't see it yet. Oh man, this is this is a lot. Why do you exaggerate your examples to prove your point? Ray, right? Ice still $1.99 like Walmart's. I don't get it. It's not exaggerating examples. It's just giving you an example that makes sense for B1 to prove my B1 purpose. Like if Ray's ice is $1.99, just like Walmart's is $1.99, then yes, I'll get my ice from Ray's, but it's usually not. Walmart usually has the cheapest price of everything. Amazon usually has the cheapest price, so it's not comparable. Strong Black Father salute. Sick, what's going on, man? Chinatowns all over the United States do the same mode. They keep their dollars. Like I said, Thug, I broke it down again, man. I told you they hire Chinese people. Chinese towns hires all Chinese people. Why? Because they can get the Chinese people to work for less than they can get the black people, the white people, or the Jewish people, or anybody, or Latino people in America to work for. If they can pay the Chinese people less money, then they make more profit. If they can make more profit, their business grows, and then they can pass out more businesses, and their businesses can spread. They are a Chinese person coming from China has no choice, because most of them can't work legally, but to work for another Chinese person who will give them that option. Build bigger. That's why they always last longer. And I don't know why this thing's blacking out like this all the time, y'all. So we got to come to the end soon. It's probably going to shut down or something. I don't know. The numbers you're showing, we aren't. The numbers you show that we aren't. The numbers. The numbers show that we aren't black first. What numbers are you referring to? The message. I'm talking about the message of black first. We wasn't talking about the numbers. We're talking about. Let me share this again. I'm talking about the message of being black first. I haven't said any numbers about being black first. I've been talking about the message of black first, and the numbers I'm talking about referring to are the black-white economic divide is right now in 2021 as wide as it was in 1968, which means that between 1968 and 2021, we have literally, if you add it all up, did any kind of damage to that. We have built no wealth, zero. Why? Because the leaders have been preaching the same black first mentality, not integration, but rather segregation and building through segregation, building our own culture through black first and building black all together, only black. This is the stuff the leaders been talking about. But as you can see, it hasn't worked because since 1968, we're still at zero. We're still at the same amount we were in, and that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm referring to. I guess so, man. But like I said, the whole thing is I got receipts. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not saying it works for everybody. I'm just saying my receipts show. Now, I don't know if you have a channel, Phenom. If you do, I will definitely watch it. I'll definitely check it out, and I'll see if you have receipts also. People that watch my channel, they understand where I come from. They've seen where I come from. You can, it's verifiable. It's receipt proven, and they can see where I'm at. It's receipt proven. Like I'm in a house, big house. I own another house, one place down south. I'm working on a place in Mexico right now to buy. I got stocks. I got crypto, and I came from nothing, and I didn't have as stable as an environment as a lot of other people, and I have receipts for all that. So where you think maybe I'm full of it, I'd say the receipts show otherwise. Let's see, bro, you're not making sense. Play back the video and watch. What part am I not making sense about, man? I don't understand, bro. You're not making sense. We aren't the minority. Immigrants, check whites. All right, we're gonna do that right now. We're gonna Google that right now. Hold up. Google. Oh my goodness. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Right, yeah. Okay, so we're currently the second largest. The second largest. We just fell to Latin American, and we're close to Asian. So once again, we're not at the top of the minority. We're number 2. So I was wrong. We're not at the bottom. We're under Latin Americans, but we are not number 1 in the highest. We're not the highest. What's the name? I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to show you right now. Here you go. Oh, let's make it bigger. As of July 2016, white Americans are the racial majority. Hispanics and Latino Americans are the largest ethnic minority, comprising of an estimated 18% of the population. African Americans are the second largest minority, comprising of 13.4% of the population. So yes, we're not the bottom, but we're under Latin Americans now, and it wasn't always that way. And we're going to fall below Asians, and we're going to fall below. It's possible that we fall below Asians. Not we're going to, but it's possible we fall below Asians next. It's just like I said, the numbers is what it is, man. So when you guys are saying that, I go on facts, man. I go on receipts. Like I'm not just speaking out of my tail. I'm going on receipts. How do I go back here? Let's see if we can find out. Let's see if we can find us. I'm gonna see if we can find out. What comes after African American? I don't want to hold you guys up for too long. I'm trying to see if I can find out what comes out of African American, but I'll do more research on that part. But we'll see about that. But as I was saying, man, I just checked out the census right there. B1 does not promote isolation. You should have educated yourself about the topic before going live. You still can sound not too bright. Listen, B1 putting black first does promote isolation because it's saying you should basically choose who you deal with businessly, economically, because of their color of their skin. It's the same thing that white people did. So why are we following the same trend? Maybe your opinion is different. My opinion is different, but it just sounds exactly the same thing. Just like white people at one point didn't want to deal with black people. Now we're saying, okay, black people, let's deal with black people first. I mean, to me, it don't make no sense. Come on, bro. You're saying Asian Arabs don't practice group economics. I'm not saying they don't practice group economics, but I'm saying they don't practice group economics based on their color, their skin. They practice economics based on their mentality. That's what you guys, I think you guys might be missing. I'm saying they practice it based on the fact that they all have the same mentality. They all have the same goals. They have the same or similar priorities, the same or similar points and things where they want to get accomplished in life. That's what we need to do with black people. But all black people don't have the same thing. So putting black people first would negate the fact that we are going with everybody that has the same mentality, because all black people don't have the same mentality. All black people don't have to strive. And yes, it's mainly due to 300 years of miseducation. All right. I haters, but my culture, what I consider culture, like I said, I consider Black American culture as different from African culture. We don't have any. I don't feel as though we have any cultural connection to the African culture they had there. I think when I say I'm black, I mean I'm Black United States citizen. I'm talking Malcolm X, I'm talking Marcus Garvey, I'm talking Harriet Tubman, I'm talking Martin Luther King, I'm talking Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm talking about people that I can relate to as a Black United States citizen that had the same struggle. You're gonna tell me that African in South Africa or African in Ghana or African in Nigeria had the same struggle we had growing up in the United States? Then, brother, you're wrong. I can't. I don't like to say people are right or wrong, but that your perspective. I won't say you're wrong. Actually, I'll say your perspective is incorrect based on factual occurrences. Blacks have supported every single immigrant financially since we come over, and why we expect something? Why I don't understand where we think that we're the majority enough to change that. You see, everybody, we supposed to give reparations. Okay, there's a difference between what is supposed to happen, what's morally justified, and what's going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's not. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm going to say that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So if we're gonna focus on the fact that we've been wronged, we've been done bad, we get the bad end of the stick for the rest of our lives, then we're not going to succeed as a people. But I'm going to succeed because I don't care about none of that. How can I make it forward? What do I have to do to make it forward that can stay within my morals and not pushing other people down on the way up, not hurting my own community, and representing something that my kids can follow behind? Those are my some of my basic points. So I'm not concerned with the fact that yes, everybody profited off the fact that we gave free labor. None of that stuff matters to me. None of that stuff matters to me. What matters is right now and the future. How can we all your answers? I mean, it's a lot, y'all. And I'm not gonna apologize, but it's just a lot. I like to really go into detail with everybody's thing, but it's just not gonna happen. Hip hop is copied, sure is. Who raised this dude? Nah. Hip hop promote gay agendas. I don't know. We can't bring everyone with us. Some people are only meant to fail. Others are meant to succeed. My girlfriend is mixed. By the way, B1 is dumb. I'm me first, then black next. Yes, that's the way I see it, man. I see it like I'm me. I'm human first. I have my priorities, and then I'm black. What hip hop are you listening to? I still listen to like Common. I still listen to like a lot of actually like 70s music. I listen to like Marvin Gaye and a lot of Go Play and Sade. I still listen to like I don't really listen to like new hip hop unless I'm in the club and I'm dancing. But you know, because like I said, to me, when you put the hip hop people in front of us, to the kids follow that trend. I know how that trend goes in the hood where they say you can only be a rapper, a basketball player, or a football player, a celebrity, or a cop. So yeah, it was, you know, I try not to, you know. I already read Powernomics. Well, I didn't read it. I listened to the audio version of Powernomics with Dr. Claude Anderson. There are no black leaders. I mean, what you consider leaders is different. Dominant majority white culture will never allow dominant. Sometimes somebody's gonna learn someday, Lamy. Sometimes somebody's gonna learn someday, man. One day, these niggas got to be an agent. You're misinformed, I guess. Who's tearing down Black Wall Street though, bruh? It's happened before, man. Like it's happened plenty of times before, and everybody keeps saying the Tulsa. Like I said, Tulsa wasn't. And high haters would know. If you read Powernomics, how high haters, then you definitely know Tulsa wasn't the first. But if we're going to keep repeating the same insanity that we did in the past and expecting a different outcome, it is what it is. Fresh. Ask the Asians who own most 90 black haircut market. And see how far you get. Tulsa and Rosewood didn't have enough arms to defend itself It's different now. It's not different now, man. You think that there's, regardless of how many arms that black people have, you think that the United States government doesn't have more arms? You think that the white people that are wealthy in the United States don't have more arms? I don't understand how it's different. I don't understand. You can't save everyone. We know that. Yeah, but I keep saying it because that's why we can't be black first. Not for the economical or moral benefit of black people. You hit him on the point, Wesley Snipes. You can't save that. That nullifies everything else. You can't save everyone. So if you know that, then you know going black first is not going to be the best thing because you can't save all black. Black community claps on itself. Black dollar doesn't circulate in community law. It's a lot of things. And like I said, it's the whole thing with this is just like, you got to recognize that people are too focused on complaining about something being right and wrong versus realizing what actually is. Once you realize what actually is, you stop worrying about what is right or wrong, and you worry about how you can push forward, how you can move forward. And I've been at that point for the longest, and that's why I'm at where I'm at. Now, maybe I'm not a multi-millionaire yet. Maybe I'm not a multi-millionaire yet, but I'm doing pretty good, especially from where I came. So actually really good especially from where I came. Like I'm literally in the process of purchasing a property in another country. Like I'm literally in the process of purchasing. It's just, I'm only speaking from receipts, man. Now you can go listen to all these other people that have different YouTube channels, different motivations. Listen to people in the chat, but you got to put yourself. You got to think. I think like this is how I think. You don't have to do that. But this is how I think. When I listen to somebody's comment, I ask, would I want to be, or listen, not just one of the comments, but listen to somebody and one of the leaders of, I had to put myself and say, hey, would I want to be where they're at? Do I want to go the path that they did to get to where they're at? And at the end of the day, I would say no. So it's basically whatever path fits you. He's not addressing the issue. What the next issue? I don't know what issue you're talking about. Black people are already supporting every group. Black people are the only ones that support people indiscriminately. Others don't do that. And this is the reason why we're able to integrate so well, man. And that's why I'm saying integration is the only way, is the way, not the only way. No, it's never going to be the only way. But integration is the best way, in my opinion, or the most logical way to build past what we have built. Because the other way has proven by the numbers not to have worked. Wow, we ain't kind of long. We got to skip a lot of people's conversation. Let me blend through. I'm just gonna show you guys, just so I can show you guys things already integrated. We're not built from integrated and political power. Listen, politics is not what I feel as though we need to integrate for. We need to integrate to grow economically. Politics don't mean nothing. The almighty dollar is what controls the United States. If almighty dollar is most likely what controls the world. So if we want, when I say integrate, I mean integrate to the level where a lot of black people can grow economically. I don't care about politics. I don't care about religious views. I don't care about none of that. I care about black people growing economically as a whole. Like I care about us growing economically, and the ones that don't care about that, let them go where they're gonna go, and focus on the ones that are focus on growing economically. Integrate, bro. You slow. We try to integrate for over half a century. No, we try to integrate with politics. We try to integrate with religion. We try to integrate with fashion. We try to integrate with music. We try to integrate with all this other stuff. We need to integrate economically. When we integrated with music, look how far we got. Hip hop is the #1 genre around the world. Can you imagine what happens if we integrate financially? Now you're seeing where I'm looking at. If we integrate financially, and imagine financially moves the way hip hop moved. Come on, man. What are we talking about here? White culture, American culture has already decided. Black culture, Americans were integrated. Media pushes interracial racism. Yes, it does. It does. And we need to take that to. We need to use that to our advantage. Black people about the community need to come up together. I can't go through everybody's stuff, but I'm just click everybody. What have we built through integration so far? I hope Ben, I hope you were still here to hear what I said about integration. on business practice, what we're saying. Why don't Chinese Jewish people spend money in black communities? Because they're on code. You actually do see what other Mexicans cooking Chinese food. Yo, okay, yeah, you're right. Mexicans do. I've seen Mexicans and Chinese food. You're right. I've seen Mexicans, but that shows you that it's based on economics, not just based on Chinese people being Chinese. You know what I mean? Because some Mexicans will take lower wages. So, yeah. Let me see. All right, fellas. I'm 30 minutes over. I can't even get to the rest of y'all comments. I appreciate everybody here. If I didn't get to your comment, I hope you next time you come a little bit earlier, and I'll get to your comment earlier, man. It was just so many comments on this topic, man. And I understand you guys. If I didn't get to your comment, it wasn't because let me just cut it out. It wasn't because of any reason. I just ran out of time. I got to work in the morning. Got to take my son to school in the morning. But I appreciate you guys listening and conversing back and forth with me. Even if you didn't agree, it wasn't about us agreeing. It was about us having a conversation, because now people can go back if they're going to watch this episode. They may not agree with a lot of stuff I said. They may not agree with a lot of comments that people said. But the fact that they have two open options is what I'm all about. I'm all about having two open options. And I think right now, with the black leaders in America or in the United States, they're only giving us one option. They're not letting people like myself and people with a different way show another way. They're just focusing on this one way. And I mean, that's why I'm here showing the Flyboy way. It's your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.